This episode of Super Carlin Brothers is brought to you by Audible. Hey, brother! Jay, I think it's time we finally get to the bottom of a mystery that has been bothering me for so long. Where did Mad Eye Moody get his magical eye? And how can it see through Harry's invisibility cloak? Seriously, it's not just any old invisibility cloak. We're talking about like the Deathly Hallows invisibility cloak. By the way, this is kind of a detail that's sort of easy to miss because it's not super critical to the main plot. And the connection between Moody's eye and the cloak happened like 3 books apart, and you have to be listening very carefully to Dumbledore when he's explaining the Hallows to Harry. But let me break it down for you. In Goblet of Fire, Harry is having a very hard time trying to figure out what to do with his golden egg. Cedric, looking to repay Harry for warning him about the dragons, suggests that Harry go and take a bath.
Just take your egg and mull things over in the hot water.
Which, like, come on, Cedric. That would be like if Harry warned you about the first task by telling you it had something to do with lizards. But Harry follows his advice and figures out the egg in the prefix bathroom after getting all, like, sudsy and kind of medium, like, harassed by Moaning Myrtle. And he's on his way back to the Gryffindor common room under cover of the invisibility cloak when he gets stuck in that oh-so-pesky step that Neville always has issues with. In a school of magic with moving staircases, I feel like this step is just not a clever enough problem. Either way, Harry gets stuck, drops the egg, which summons way too many people to be out in just the middle of the night, including Mad Eye Moody and Snape. Snape, of course, only sees the egg, but Mad Eye sees Harry despite the fact that he's under the invisibility cloak. No big deal, right? We don't know the rules of magical eyes or the cloak yet, so we just move right on along. Except then in Deathly Hallows, Xenophilius tells Harry about the cloak, Harry's cloak, the cloak. We are talking about a cloak that really and truly renders the wearer completely invisible and endures eternally, giving constant and impenetrable concealment, no matter what spells are cast at it. And all of a sudden, 3 books later, we have an issue with the fact that Mad Eye Moody's eye can see through the cloak. It's supposed to give constant vigilance! Wait, no, that's Moody. It's supposed to give constant and impenetrable concealment. Also, I can't believe they left constant vigilance out of the movies. It's like Moody's catchphrase. Moody totally seems like the kind of guy that would have a catchphrase. Wait, where was I? Oh yeah, back in book 4, Harry's stuck in the trip step, smelling all like perfect prefect pool bath water, and Moody seeing him through the cloak. What gives? This shouldn't be allowed to happen, right? Like, I feel like this almost has to say more about Moody's eye and less about the cloak, because we kind of know a lot about the cloak, don't we? We know its origins, its history, its power, but we know none of that about the eye. Moody / Barty Crouch Jr. just shows up with it, and all we really know is that he lost an eye, it's a replacement eye, and it can like see through the back of his head and stuff. Yeah, we'll just roll with that. But like, kind of right out of the gate, something there doesn't really make sense. Like, this eye seems just way too useful for not everyone to just have them. Although, to be fair, this same logic could totally be applied to Gillyweed or the Bubblehead charm. Like, do you really mean to tell me that an entire library full of books and no one ever has wondered or figured out how to see what's underwater? Ugh, I digress. Maybe not everybody would want a replacement eye. That does seem kind of dramatic, admittedly. Although you would at least think that maybe like other Aurors would, like, or at the very least know that it's an option. But no, nobody else has one, and we're given no explanation as to where it came from. But I have to believe that it's pretty rare because even like Umbridge is using it to spy on her employees through her door. And by that, I do mean she uses that specific eye, the one that was previously in Moody's face. If this was so important to her and others were available at all, don't you feel like she'd already have one? Wouldn't she have maybe put them all over Hogwarts? Wouldn't she have maybe wanted to know what was under the water at the Bahamas while she was on vacation? I just can't get over it, guys! Like, I get it. Muggle scuba gear is kind of advanced, but like, bubbles aren't? Also, now I really can't get past the idea of Umbridge at the beach. My point is, I think that the eye is a singular artifact, and a super powerful one at that, if it's able to see through a Deathly Hallow. So where did the eye come from before Moody had it? Well, I think I actually have the answer, and it lies in this picture right here. Do you see it? Right here. Yes, I can't help but notice looking at this picture of Grindelwald that he has one single blue eye. And yes, I know immediately what you're thinking. That eye doesn't totally look like the giant strappy weird thing that Moody has on his face. You know, the one that kind of looks like a kid's toy. But wrong. The version of the eye that we see Moody wear in the movies has the weird bizarre strap thing, but in the books, it just fits into his empty eye socket. His right eye socket, which is just like another weird change the movies made. Now, yes, I agree it's just a single picture and there's not that much else to go on, but don't worry, we have more. First, further evidence that it's the same eye comes from the fact that Grindelwald is hunting down what? The Hallows. One of which is the invisibility cloak, which, as we just established, the eye can see through. That's a pretty handy tool for someone hunting down Hallows, wouldn't you say? And somehow I have a feeling that Grindelwald would not have a problem at all with altering his appearance or even taking his own eye out for the cause. I mean, after all, he spent the entire first movie disguised as someone else, which not necessarily related to this specific theory, but is an interesting mirroring of Moody. Grindelwald having it also fits nicely with the story. We know that he loses to Dumbledore, who could have taken the eye and eventually given it to Moody. In fact, Moody even says that the only reason he's teaching at all is as a special favor to Dumbledore, as in repaying a favor, as in for giving him an eye? At the very least, it's certainly possible, but that still doesn't explain where Grindelwald originally got it from. My initial thought was that maybe he just crafted it himself. I mean, after all, until Voldemort came along, he was considered the most powerful dark wizard of all time. It seems possible he could create such an object. But then I started second guessing myself, because if he was capable of creating something as powerful as the Hallows themselves, and it certainly seems like this eye could be, then why would he be hunting the Hallows at all? He could probably just create his own powerful objects. Which again means that the eye must have come from somewhere else. But where? I will admit that this did stump me for a second, and then it hit me like a triple-decker purple bus.
What you fell over for?
Because I just got hit with a great idea, Stan! How does Harry initially describe the symbol of the Deathly Hallows? A triangular eye. The eye is part of it. It has comparable powers, and it's basically the symbol of the Hallows. But which eye? A quick Google search will tell you that the most famous triangular eye of all time is this one right here, the Eye of Providence, or the All-Seeing Eye. And while that sounds super promising and impressive, it doesn't quite fit, and it turns out that there is another eye that fits amazingly well. An eye that in Greek mythology is literally used to find 3 powerful objects, one of which is even a cap of invisibility. Allow me to introduce you to Perseus, son of Zeus, tasked with killing the Gorgon, Medusa. In order to defeat Medusa, he needed 3 items, and in order to find those items, he needed to first visit the sisters I'm gonna say Grey. The 3 sisters Grey combined shared 1 tooth and 1, wait for it, eye. When Perseus found them, he managed to steal the eye from them and hold it hostage until they revealed the location of the 3 items. The 3 items were a sword, which he gets from Zeus, a magic bag from Hesperides, and a cap of invisibility or helm of darkness from Hades. 3 items created by gods. Sounds an awful lot like the 3 Hallows created by death, with the sword being the equal to the Elder Wand, the cap being the equal to the invisibility cloak, and the bag being the equal to the stone. And even if we don't want to agree with the parallels between those objects, at the very least we have a super powerful eye tracking down 3 super powerful magical objects. And while in mythology these 3 objects weren't used to conquer death necessarily, they were used to conquer Medusa, who could kill anything she looked at. Oh, and while we're speaking of Medusa, you probably know her by one of her key characteristics. Her hair is made of snakes, which not only sounds terrifying, but kind of reminds me of this, the Snake Lady. And even if you're thinking that this comparison to Greek mythology sounds a little far-fetched, let me tell you, the Fantastic Beasts movies reference it already. Even just Newt's brother, Theseus, in Greek mythology, known for slaying a fantastic beast, the Minotaur. So I'm not sure exactly how it will all come together in the movies yet, but my theory is that the eye that Grindelwald has in the blue eye is an ancient magical artifact. It's Moody's eye, and he's using it to hunt down Hallows. And that is the origin of Moody's eye, aka the Eye of the Sisters Great. For my question of the day, I want to know what you guys think at home. What are your thoughts here? Could it be that Grindelwald has the same eye as Moody? Leave your thoughts in the towel section down below. If you need any refreshing at all about all that Moody's eye has to offer, I recommend checking out today's sponsor, who I want to give a huge thank you to, Audible. In case you hadn't heard, just a couple of weeks ago at VidCon, we got to do an Audible book club recording with none other than Philip DeFranco. Jay and I and a few others got to sit down with Phil and discuss the book Florida by Lauren Groff. It was just absolutely amazing for us to get to sit down with a creator that we've idolized on this channel for so long and just talk about the book. I'll put a link in the description down below. I highly recommend you check it out. But probably my favorite way to use Audible and to research new Harry Potter videos is to just sit down, pop in some earbuds, and listen to the magical voice that is Jim Dale reading it to me. If that's something you think you might be interested in, Audible is offering our viewers a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. All you have to do is text SCB to 500 or go to audible.com/SCB. And as an added bonus, during the month of July, if you are an Amazon Prime member, which I know I totally am, you can also get 3 months of Audible for the price of 1. My favorite part about Audible is that every month you get a free credit for an audiobook, so you can download it at any time, and if you don't use it, it just rolls over to the next month. And even better, if you don't like the book, you can exchange it free of charge. It's just so easy to use. And on top of that, the books are yours to keep forever, even if you cancel your membership. But probably the best part about Audible is that you can take it with you wherever you go. So whether you're on a hike or going for a run or sitting on the beach or climbing a wall, whatever the case may be, you can also be at Hogwarts. My book recommendation for today, absolutely, hands down, has to be Goblet of Fire. This was one of my absolute favorite in the series. It's an amazing listen, and we've theorized that there are all sorts of things in Goblet of Fire, like the Triwizard Tournament and Moody's Eye, that we may even see in Fantastic Beasts, so go give it a re-listen and get ready for the movie. And again, Audible is offering our viewers a free audiobook with a 30-day trial. All you have to do is text SCB to 500 or go to audible.com/SCB. And if you've got that Amazon Prime membership, up through July 31st, you can get 3 months for the price of 1. It's absolutely amazing. And again, if you want to check us out talking about the book Florida by Lauren Groff with Philip DeFranco and a bunch of other super cool people, again, just check the link in the description down below. But guys, as always, thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you'd like to see some more Harry Potter action from us, you can click right here to find out how the Resurrection Stone is actually trying to kill you, or right here to find out how the veil actually works. But Jay, that's all I've got for you today, man. I will see you on Tuesday.